Ooh, ooh. It's Invasion. Episode 3 of Season 1. Kind of the end of this 3-part pilot that they pushed out. I think they probably did it that way because it's a little slow in the first 2 episodes, and I'd say it's still kind of slow. I think they probably just wanted to get people hooked so that they didn't just forget about it in 1 week's time. So did it work to its desired effect? I don't think so, because I still don't think it's really picked up yet at all. And you got 7 more episodes, so I think it's 10 episodes. This one, called Orion, is another slow burn. We get really no action. Let's start by talking about the storylines. I thought the storyline that stayed with me the most, there's really no A, B, C, D plot. There are 4 storylines. That's kind of how they split it up. They don't really split it up in terms of importance or anything like that. But I would say that the one that stuck with me the most was the young school children storyline, kind of Casper's storyline. And I thought that storyline, while it was probably my favorite of the last episode, was not the best this episode. They start by kind of cutting to, the aftermath of the fucking bus falling over the cliff. And the teacher is in a bad way. And they kind of heal him up a little bit. And for some reason, Jamila is like really good at being a nurse. I think her mother is a nurse, she said. And Casper's just along for the ride, just a good little guy. And for some reason, Monty wants to not help the teacher. For some reason, he really ramps up the bullying of Casper this episode, and it just seems like a bad time. It seems Monty is such an unrealistically evil child. It's really bizarre. Casper's friends just kind of stand there and watch as he is bullied ruthlessly by Monty, this young Adolf Hitler. They just kind of stand around and watch. And then the weirdest part about this storyline in the episode, Monty kind of pulls Casper aside or approaches Casper or something. Casper's like talking to Jamila and she touches his knee and he's like, ooh. And then Monty comes by and Jamila's like, ugh, and walks away, and Casper is kind of left there just like to talk with Monty. And then Monty starts to act, kind towards Casper. It's really strange. I kind of got the sense that it was just bad writing. Like the show was actually trying to make Monty be like, you know what, we're all in this together. But then Monty pulls like the most insidious, awful, heinous crime, mental crime, verbal crime. It should be, what he did should be a crime in getting Casper to like talk about his dead father. And then he's like acting like, oh, this is, I know what you feel. I know how you feel. My dad left me too. An Uno reverse card is pulled and he's like, wow, Casper's dad isn't dead. Casper's dad is just like an abuser. And Monty's like, wow, now I can hold that one over you too. Unreal. And we kind of end the episode with Casper being like, hey, Jamila, here's a picture that I drew. Jamila being like, cool. Casper only has 2 pills left. Or 1 pill left now. Jeez. And then Monty walks out and puts out the fire. What is going on with this kid? I think we're going to figure out, I don't know. Monty is just like Satan spawn. So that wasn't the best storyline of the episode. It just felt like, oh, this is just a really demonic child that is torturing this other kid. And then we go to kind of the second storyline that stood out to me the most, which was the family storyline again. They are driving, right? This is right after Manny has tried to like leave without the family. And they're driving, stop on a bridge, look out over the water. There's like nuts traffic, no one's moving. They look out over the water, all the lights turn out at the perfect moment. And then all of a sudden they're out of traffic. I don't know how that happened. I thought it was going to be them like really struggling to leave NYC, but I guess not. And then they get to this, like gas station, right? And it's a really weird apocalyptic event to me because it seems like everyone's too calm, right? It seems like people would be swarming. It seems like everyone's just like kind of, well, like, okay, kids, go to the bathroom break. Manny's like out there scrapping with some guys because they're racist, and the mom, for whatever reason, like, okay, kids, go to the bathroom. But all of a sudden, once the kids come back, the mom's like, all right, we literally have to go right now. It's time to steal a car. So she steals someone's car. Well, I don't, like, you're trying to make these characters like you're trying to make her the moral compass, right? Basically of the show, kind of. I mean, The only other moral compasses I could think of are like Travante and Casper. And like she is, she's definitely the moral compass of her storyline, but now she's stealing cars for literally no reason. Just like finish charging your car and leave. I know those guys were making it hard, but like you could be like, just like hold on, it's almost done, chill, and then go. What's going on? And then just some weird other stuff, like Luke was like, can we turn on the TV? And then they turn on the news, and the kids are just like, oh wow, this is awesome. And then a kids show comes on, and Luke's like, that's for kids. I want to watch the news. Really strange. And then Ahmed being like literally the most heinous character of all time. Being like, everyone's mad at me. Everyone hates me, including you, talking to Anisha. And Anisha's like, isn't properly mad at what he just said, I don't think. Like, she's just kind of like, wow, classic Ahmed. What a bad guy. And then he goes and calls his... Is there a word for like someone you're cheating on someone with? That's whatever Mandy, the cook. So again, that storyline was just kind of strange. Really, like a really calm apocalypse there. And then the C plot, I would call Travante being lost in the desert. He's very wounded, and he's just kind of walking around. He's trying to locate his troops, can't find them. Just kind of walking around, don't know where he's going. Walking aimlessly, it seems, passes out. And then he wakes up to this man standing over him. And obviously his first instinct is to like point his gun at him because, everyone in Afghanistan is a threat, apparently. And he points his gun at him. And the guy's like, no, I'm here to help you. I'm sure he said in the language that he's speaking. What's the language? What language do they speak in Afghanistan? It says Dari. So most likely Dari. We'll say. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but we'll just say that the man is probably speaking Dari. Just like, whoa. Let me help you. He gives him some water, and then he passes out again. Travante passes out again. Cut to nighttime, I guess. Travante is just kind of laying there. The man's treating him, and Travante is like, wow, this sucks. And he's like really mean to him for whatever reason. I don't know. Like, again, make your main characters sympathetic and likable. You don't have to make them like really good. You don't have to make them like, oh, this person's a saint. But just like make them someone that I don't dislike. That's all I have to say. But then the coolest part of the episode happens, I think, where it's kind of, I felt like it was an examination of how two people can communicate, whether on purpose or not, an examination of how two people can communicate when they don't speak the same language, and how even if you don't understand what someone's saying, like the energy that's in the words kind of gets passed around, so that like once the man from Afghanistan starts talking about something sad, then Travante kind of, matches his mood, and they both start, it's just like, I don't know, it's cool. It was a cool little examination of communication. They tried to spell it out for us, which was a little, like, whatever, you don't have to do that. But I thought overall that was a good scene. Best scene of the episode by far. And yeah, that's kind of where we left that storyline. Travante, that storyline was the best one. Then we get to probably the second best one, which was Yamato, who was really relegated this episode. We started off the episode with her in the shower and like lingerie. I feel like she's been so unnecessarily like sexualized this show. And almost all of her shots, she's like half naked. I don't know. I feel like it's unnecessary. It's gratuitous. Close up on her feet while she puts on her socks. Unnecessary and gratuitous. It just seems like one of those characters that they're like, wow, look, a woman who can be sexy and smart. Which is like an overused trope in these kinds of shows, I think. And then all of it, she like walks in, they're doing some kind of independent study on what happened from an outside agency, and she's just like, no. And she grabs some papers and like runs into a room and locks herself in, where like the police are literally trying to get in. First off, they did not try hard enough to stop her. But second off, it's a wild plan by her to just lock herself in and be like, I don't care if the police come and get me. Like, this is what I'm going to do. And obviously, it ended up working, I guess. I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen. Probably prison. Unless they're like, wow, you did it. Good job. You're not in trouble anymore. Which could happen. But at the end of the day, she figured it out with some hacking. She wanted to see exactly what happened somehow in the space station or the shuttle if you will. And she wanted to see what happened, and she found video of the astronaut's last moments, her partner. So I don't know, that was probably the most excitement of the episode. It was just a really slow one. I would give it probably a 2 out of 5. Because this 3-part pilot has not been super great, but I will be watching episode 4 very soon because it just came out today, the day that I'm recording this on Friday. So I guess I'll talk to you then. I mean, overall, it seems like this show is trying to be. It's definitely not trying to be an action-packed show. It's trying to be a slow burn, but in a slow burn, you have to have like really compelling emotional moments, and you have to have likable characters who you want to root for. And I feel like the only likable characters in this show right now are probably Yamato and Casper and Jamila, and that's basically it. I'm not a fan of any of the other characters. They've all made very questionable moral decisions or are just like generally bad and like mean to people. So it just feels like it's trying to be something. It's trying to take a spin on the alien genre, and it's just not working. And that's all I have to say about that. Invasion, episode 1, episode 3, season 1. Probably the only season, unless it gets way better. But episode 3 of Invasion. See you soon for episode 4.